We're on page 261.
51?
61.
So I thought I would say.
Maran, Kuf Samech Bet, 162. Seif 2, Bet. Hanotel Yadav, one who washes his hands for what? What are you washing your hands here for?
Move the dirt.
For bread.
Okay.
Meaning not for the morning. Shofech alehem ketzat me'revi'it. You pour on them a little bit from the revi'it of water you're holding in the cup. Lahasir mihem halichluch, in order to clean them from whatever dirt is on them. V'chol davar shechotzetz, and anything else which would cause a separation between your hands and the water.
This is from the cup?
Yeah, okay, where else are you going to wash from? Meaning, in Maran's time, what else are you going to wash from? V'achar kach, and afterwards, shofech alehem pa'am shniyah, you pour on them a second time. V'gam elu hamayim hem timeim, and also this second waters are timeim. V'achar kach, and afterwards, shofech alehem pa'am shlishit, you pour on them a third time. L'taher hamayim shal gabei hayadayim. The third time you wash, so first time is to wash the dirt. The second time is to wash the hands. The third time is to wash, to purify the water that is on your hands with a third washing.
So the second is the ritual washing. No, washing off that water.
Second and third.
Okay.
Vim en beyadayim lichluch, but if your hands don't have actual dirt on them, v'davar hachotzetz, or anything that actually causes separation between the water and the hand. How many of you, when you go wash your hands for bread, have dirt or grease, or when you change a lawnmower? How many of you have that on your hands when you go wash your
Normally,
hands?
no. Usually not.
Usually you wash your hands first.
No, wait, no.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
Don't get us in trouble, Baruch. Let's say you finish Kiddush here on
No,
Shabbat.
normally
You go
no.
wash your hands. How many of your hands are dirty?
Yeah, usually not.
No.
Normally not.
See, this is going to be one of those times where people read Shulchan Aruch. Hey, Shulchan Aruch says you have to wash your hands 3 times. Everyone tells you that. They just forget to read Shulchan Aruch. Look. Vim en biyadayim nichluch, and if your hands don't have dirt, v'davar hachotzetz, or anything that will separate between the water and your hand, shofech al shtei yadav revi'it bevat achat, you pour a revi'it of water on both your hands at once, or one at a time. That's the same thing in Maran. Ve'en tzarich mayim shniyim, and you don't even need the second waters. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
You only wash 3 times if your hands are actually dirty.
Okay.
Once to clean them from the dirt, the second time to wash them with water, and the third time to wash away the impure water from your hands. We mentioned before that when washing with more than a revi'it of water, you also only pour once, because there's no need to get rid of that impure water, because the water is already washed away. It's pure, your hand. But here we're talking if you're washing just the revi'it. So first time is for kalinas, second time is to wash, and the third time is to purify the water on the hands. It says Maran, if your hands are clean, you just wash once,
Just once.
and that's it. That is what I do.
It means you can just wash once, but does it mean you have to just wash once, or can you wash more than once?
Do you take 2 showers in the morning?
I'm not asking.
Can you? There's no prohibition of wasting water,
Obviously.
maybe.
Yeah.
Rav Aaron Cutler was very particular. I heard from a student of his once he came to Milas Faradini Yerushalayim. He said Rav Aaron Cutler, when he washed in other people's houses, or when he washed in the yeshiva, he would tell people to only wash once, because you didn't ask permission to steal water from the person before. You think you're being strict about hand washing, but you're stealing their water.
Yeah.
Now, you might say that today's world, everyone expects you to wash 3 times, and if you do less, they're wondering why you're being stingy with their water. But for example, in a yeshiva level, imagine 1,000 people go wash their hands.
It's a lot of water in a month.
Washing once versus 3 times, that's a completely different number. In the days in which people drew water from wells, it's not just a financial disadvantage, it's also it's work. I mean, the more water you use, the more we suffer. It's resources. Let's see the Rama. They always tell you that Maran says to wash 3 times and Ashkenazim wash twice. That's what they tell you. Look why. See, again, you have to read.
Oh, okay.
Rama says, Haggad, the last 2 lines on the top. V'hu hadin, it's also the same halacha, says the Rama. Im hayu lo mayim rabim, let's say he has a lot of water. Rochetz tchila me'at kedei lasir lichluch, you wash a little bit first in order to get rid of the dirt. V'achar kach shofech revi'it ke'echad, and then he pours a whole revi'it at once. Ve'en tzarich mayim shlishim, and you don't need the third waters. What did Rama just say? How much water? How many times do you pour on your hand? Twice. If you have a lot of water and your hands are dirty, but you don't have dirty hands. Once, like mine.
Yeah, but there's no drying in between. This is like the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
or 1, 2, 3.
No, it's 3 and 3.
So,
2, 2, 3.
but if the first time's to get clean, then you're only doing one hand at a time.
Because remember that according to Maran, you're washing both hands at the same time. You're having someone pour water on your hands.
Oh, right. You're not doing it for yourself.
That's right. Or you are, but you have some way to
Splish it over
yeah.
both hands at the same
whatever
time.
that scenario is.
I see. Okay.
That's a good point.
So just to get the context of this right, this is washing your hands in the morning.
No, this is all bread.
What?
Everything here is about bread.
Okay, so that's, I didn't understand.
Rama finishes, "Hanotei yadav," the one who washes their hands, "Sarich l'shafshefam ze bazeh," must rub the hands together. Okay, let's do that.
After washing?
Yeah.
And
Rub
is
your
that
hands
part of
together?
drying?
We'll see.
Wait, you have to rub your hands together? I never heard that.
I never did.
Don't worry, just the Rama. By Pesach, everybody remembers the Rama. They don't need to know.
Called hand,
Hand washing, nobody follows it. Yeah.
So you
called
do,
hand wringing.
do you want one, and then this, and then you're drying?
Let's read. In the middle section of the book, Shlichat hamayim shtayim o shalosh pamim. Zayin, kvar nitbaer le'el, already has been explained above. Shanotei yadav, the one who washes their hands, tzarich lishpoch hamayim shte pamim al yadav, has to pour the water twice on his hands. Pam achad kedei letaher et hayadayim, once to purify the hands, upam shniya letaher et hamayim harishonim shnitmu b'machmat yadav. And the second time, to purify the water that is on his hands. So why is he skipping the first time? He's only mentioning twice. He's mentioning time 2 and time 3, not the first one.
Your hands aren't
Because
dirty.
your hands are
Your
not
hands
dirty.
aren't too big.
Yeah.
ומכל מקום, in any case, אם שופך רביעית מים בבת אחת על שתי ידיו, if you pour a revi'it of water on both your hands at once, או שופך רביעית מים על כל יד ויד, you pour a revi'it on each hand, one at a time. אין צריך לטול ידיו שתי פעמים, you don't have to wash your hands twice. ודי בנטילה אחת, it's enough to only wash once, כיוון שאם שופך רביעית בבת אחת, because once you pour רביעית at once, אין כאן מים טמאים כלל. There is no tameh water here at all.
So you would do 3.5 ounces and 3.5 ounces, it's 7 ounces altogether, right?
Yeah, that's a revi'it. Nobody washes with just 7 ounces of water. How many ounces is that cup, Rafan? 8?
That's right.
8. That's more. That's an 8-ounce cup. Yeah.
This is more.
Is it 8 ounce? I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere.
That's
Adam,
about
do you want
8
to bring me the
ounces.
washing cup?
It's an 8 or a 10. That's not any different.
It's an 8. I think it's an 8.
Yeah. Just keep it.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's biggie.
Can you pass me that cup for a second, just for the camera's
That's
sake?
not so big.
It's pretty big.
That's the way,
Can't promise you your cup's gonna come out. Can I just pass it around for a second?
wow. This is Exhibit A.
Careful not to spill Raphael's tea, please. You're still drinking it.
Otherwise, you have to get.
Yes, that's it. So, as a jury, we have to talk about this.
Picture of this, Raphael.
Yeah,
Dad,
Exhibit
that's
A.
not
Take
the
a
biggest
photo of
washing cup they
Yeah,
sell.
I'll get a picture.
No,
of this.
there's some.
Bigger one?
Of course, for sure.
Yeah.
There's also smaller ones, that's
Mine's
true.
also-
Right. This is going to be a scandal on the internet.
Yeah.
You see that?
That's
Oh,
really
wow, yes, we have probably.
Nobody who
Cup.
washes their hands today washes with less than a revi'it of water. Nobody. You don't know anybody like that. Even the people with the kizayit-sized mezuzot, they use full-size washing cups.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's all that's sold. It's hard to find
I actually own a tiny washing cup that I use on purpose.
Why?
save water.
Just
Right.
because. Why?
And tell me, Rabbi, how do you brush your teeth?
How do I?
Do you let the water run while you're
No,
brushing?
I could let the wastewater run
I do
around.
it. We take a hot tub jacuzzi. with
I was
it.
born in California to Israeli parents who were worried about the Kehillat. How can I let the water run?
They had the Kehillat
If I was
sticker
from New
in
York
there.
or something, then it would be a different story. In New York, they don't even charge you some places for water, I heard.
Yeah, but you don't know.
I
Wow.
heard in,
So plentiful.
they don't know what to do with it.
So how come when your hands are dirty you do 3 times and not 2 times? You think once to get the dirt off and once...
Lemaaseh, the first hand washing doesn't have to be from a cup. It could be from the sink.
Mm.
It just has to be cleaning your hands.
Right.
So do you remember now, Maran when he says that according to some people there's a custom to make a blessing after the first hand washing, before the second hand washing? Remember Maran writes that?
No.
Back in where he says you make a blessing before you wash your hands? Maran records the custom. Some people make a blessing after they wash their hands the first time, before they wash their hands the second time.
Maybe he's secretly Ashkenazi.
No, I mean that's Maran's whole opinion is the only people who can make a blessing after they wash their hands. You're talking about between the 2 hand washings. There is nowhere where Maran says that you can make a blessing after you wash your hands. But nobody knows that Maran breaks up hand washing into 2 or 3 parts, depending on if your hands are dirty.
We do now.
Yeah, now you may be the only people in California who know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
How many times I've talked about Hichot Nitat to that with people? They don't even know what I'm talking to them about. Agapel's always says, you go to the biggest yeshiva in the world, and if I ask them questions on the laws of Netilat did that. No yeshiva student will know. Why should they?
Because you do it every day.
That's right, you would think.
There's a lot of people are lazy and want to go just what they hear from others, rather than going right to the source. You see this with science. You see all kinds of
It's a
things.
much more useful
opinions
use
come
of your time.
secondhand.
Those are useful to study about how the ox scores the cow, and then how much you pay, and how much you don't pay, and how much. Those are much more useful halachot for them. No, fake law. They don't deal with it. And who's ever sued their friend in a bed din? I know these people. They sue each other in court all the time. Whoever wants a bed din.
I don't know.
So then why are they studying halachot they don't even keep? It's more embarrassing. It's like when the Gemara says if you say Shema Yisrael but you're not wearing tefillin, it's like you're lying to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. I mean, you command me to put on tefillin, but I'm not wearing it. It's embarrassing. Jewish people study laws they don't keep.
So how
People sign a ketubah. You should see how much trouble. Now I did a wedding in Dallas. See how much trouble the rabbis over there gave me for the ketubah that I did. And I know these guys. They're never going to use that ketubah. Those rabbis will never take people to beit din for a ketubah. When's the last time you ever heard of a couple getting divorced in a beit din? And forget the get.
Just to get.
That their financial arrangement is exactly what they signed in their ketubah. You don't know one person like that. The ketubah Lamasa, the Jewish community has made it a joke. You should see how much time they spend filling in those details. How do you write San Diego? Once they corrected me, how I wrote San Diego. I said, no, this ketubah didn't have to be kasher. Nobody used it. Nobody uses it. It's not a ritual document. The ketubah is not a, like, you have to write tefillin or something. Ketubah is a legal document. If no one's going to sign it, if it's a fictitious document, so who cares what you write inside?
But they can't live together without the ketubah.
That's what they tell you. But look, nobody observes the ketubah. I mean, how many people actually fall? Look at you want to talk about people. I'm not just hating on it. Look at the yeshiva world. What is saying the ketubah? I will support my wife. I will feed my wife. I will clothe my wife. I will. Who? He sits in kollel the whole day. She works all day long. So what he wrote, it's not just he doesn't keep it. What he wrote is a lie.
I don't know what. I don't know.
It's a
He's
lie.
not supported.
He doesn't support his wife.
Oh.
How does he agree at his wedding to write that he supports his wife when he doesn't?
it just goes through the motions.
It's just you do whatever it says in that text.
supports her with Devar Torahs.
Oh, that's so
He'll
sweet.
clothe her. He'll feed her.
Yasher Chayu.
He'll pay her even from the shirt that's on his back. She doesn't want his shirt. It hasn't been washed in 3 weeks.
Ring around the collar.
All if it's worse. If you go look at if you go look at an Ashkenazi Ketubah, it doesn't even have money inside of it. All about skukin kesef, purified silver. Ask the person who's doing the wedding. How much silver is he signing in dollars? How much silver is he paying now? I've done it. How many times I've done this before? I asked them or the Khatan. Hey Khatan, what did you sign right now? How much money are you promising to give her? He has no idea. He asked the rabbi. The rabbi has no idea. Why are you still using a silver measurement that doesn't exist anymore? We a long time ago updated. I write in dollars. If I in America, I write in shekels. If I write in Israel. So you see halakha. Zev said he doesn't even know how much he said. It's not just that people don't want to think; they don't even know where to start thinking.
It takes some time to
It's a Judaism that you just fill out this standardized ketubah, you do the standardized wedding, the standardized brit, the standardized mourn. Everything is standardized,
By numbers.
but it's not. No one knows what they're doing.
But no one really encourages people to find out how questions and
Because you have to-
question.
You have to teach people how to think first.
And that's a scary thing for some people.
Yeah.
So here, when you're talking about washing hands, how many times in a person's lifetime do they wash their hands?
Oh, hundreds,
So
thousands.
until when will they sit and learn the halachot of washing their hands? Why are they washing their hands? With how much water do they have to wash their hands? You see people do all kinds of weird things when they wash their hands.
Mm-hmm.
They wipe the faucet down, they dry the handles. And you ever seen these people?
Yeah, they can hold the coast with a towel.
With a
So
towel.
it doesn't transfer too much to their hands.
They overflow the cup.
We'll see.
They all kinds of things are
Oh,
happening
see.
here by Tzad tonight. Yeah.
OCD.
והוא הדין, the same is true. אם מטביל ידיו במקווה
That rubs me the wrong.
או בים שאינו צריך להטבילן אלא פעם אחת בלבד. The same halakha is true about a person who dips their hands in the mikveh or the ocean, that they only have to dip it in once, because there's no worry of tumah in their hand, there's no worry of anything else, but they only have to dip their hands once, and that's it. They don't have to go 3 times inside. Just once. So we mentioned, according to Maran, you wash your hands 3 times, once to clean the dirt off your hands, the second time to wash your hands, and the third time to purify the water that is left on your hands, which is still impure. We mentioned that once you wash with more than a revi'it of water, 3.6 ounces,
It's not
you don't
efficient.
have to do more than once. The same as if you dip your hands inside of a mikveh or anything else, that's enough water that your hands do not need to be washed anymore. So let's look on page 262. Chet. Im yesh lichluch al yadav, if there is dirt on your hands, v'hu davar hachotzetz netilat yadayim, and it's the kind of material that is going to make a separation between the water and your hand. כגון tit וכיוצא בזה, like mud or something like that. צריך לשפוך תחילה מעט מים להסיר לכלוך מהידיו, to pour a little bit of water first to cleanse that contamination from your hands. לאחר מכן יחזור וישפוך ידיו מים 2 פעמים, then you pour water twice after that, או ישפוך על 2 ידיו רביעית בבת אחת, or you pour a רביעית at once over both your hands, או ישפוך רביעית בבת אחת על כל יד ויד, or you pour a רביעית of water on each hand. So really, if you wash each hand separately, you're spending double the amount of water than if you're washing both your hands at once with one revit. You either pour a revit of water on both your hands, or a revit of water on each of your hands.
Double the water.
Right. אבל אם ידיו נקיות, but if your hands are clean, ואין עליהן לכלוך, and there's nothing on them, די בכך, it's enough, שישפוך המים על ידיו 2 פעמים, it's enough to pour water on your hands twice, או ישפוך על 2 ידיו רביעית בבת אחת, or you pour a רביעית of water on your hands at once, או שישפוך רביעית בבת אחת על כל יד ויד, or you pour a רביעית of water on your hands one at a time.
That's another agreement that we took yesterday.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Now we have the Kabbalists. Come. Page 264.
64?
Yeah. A lot of footnotes. ולפי דעת רבינו הארי, and according to the opinion of our Rabbi Dari, בכל עניין, in any situation, צריך לשפוך על ידיו מים, you must pour water on your hands, 3 פעמים, 3 times, בזו אחר זו, one after the next. What does that mean, one after the next? No, that's one after, that's alternatingly. This is the opposite of alternatingly.
3 on one hand.
3,
on the
3.
Three.
So not 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 3. ואפילו כשאין לכלוך על ידיו, even when your hands are not dirty. ואפילו כששופך רביעית מים בבת אחת ידיו, and even when you pour a רביעית of water. Okay, so according to Kabbalah, you want to wash 3 times on each hand? 3 is the number of Kabbalah. Why? Okay. What's the order according to the Rizal? ויקח תחילת הכלי ביד ימינו. Can I have the washing cup, please? Which hand do you wash first?
The right.
Your right hand. So with which hand would you think to pick up the cup?
Left.
Left.
And then you have to pick the right
Your left hand,
hand.
no?
Pick it up and I put it in your.
Yeah, supposed to do it with the right.
According to
Then
this, you're all
transfer.
Kabbalists, you just don't know it. According to that Rizal, you pick up the cup in your right hand. You always start things with the right.
Pass it to
You
it.
pass it to your left hand and you pour on your right hand.
Yeah, I've said that once before, but a long time ago. Why?
Start with the right.
I forgot my magic carpet at home.
I can pretend that rolled up on the
Listen, I have books here that will explain why. Let's just put it like this: the corner Kabbalah, you always want to do things with the right hand. The right hand is Chesed, the left hand is Gvura. The right hand you always start with. The left hand serves the right hand. Some, if I recall correctly, some Mekubalim, when you pass the cup, the left hand, you pour, you pass it, you pour, and then you put it down, and then you take it with your left hand. So your right hand should never serve your left hand.
Oh, wow.
I'm not there, Chaver. I'm just telling you that I once recalled seeing in the Ben Ish Chai here or somewhere like that. Such a thing. So you pick it up with your right hand. You pass it to your left hand. ויצוק על יד ימינו 3 פעמים רצופים, and you pour 3 times on your hand, your right hand. ואחר כך יעביר הכלי אל יד ימינו, and then you pass the cup to your right hand. ויצוק על ידו השמאלית 3 פעמים, and you pour 3 times on your left hand. ולא ייטול 3 פעמים לסירוגין בכל פעם, and you shouldn't wash לסירוגין alternatingly each time. על ימין ועל שמאל, first on right and then the left, and then right and the left. כמו בתת ידיים שחרית, the way you do it in the morning. אלא ייטול 3 פעמים רצופים על כל יד. You should wash 3 times in a row on each hand. וכן פשט המנהג אצל הספרדים ועדות המזרח. And that has become the custom among the Sfaradim and the communities of the East. Okay, so basically what everyone does is Kabbalah. According to Maran though, how much water do you have to pour?
Repeat once.
Either a Revit once on both hands or a Revit on each hand. לדעת מרן השולחן ערוך, tet, according to the rulings of מרן השולחן ערוך. אף כשיש לכלוך על ידיו וצריך להסירו קודם בתהילה, even though there's dirt on your hands, you want to take it off before you wash your hands, די בכך שיעשה הכל מרבית אחד. It's really enough to use one whole רבית. אף על פי שאחר הסרת הלכלוך, מעל ידיו נושב בקריבית מים שלמה. Even though once you pour a little bit of the revit to wash the dirt off your hand, you no longer are left with a revit of water.
So you fill it up.
No, technically he says according to Maran, it's okay. ומכל מקום, nonetheless, נכון להחמיר לכתחילה, it's proper to be stringent, ideally, שיהיה במים שיעור רביעית שלמה, אחר שיצא לכוך מנהן, that you should still have a revit of water in your cup when you're ready to wash.
So you fill it up again.
No. Yeah, the second time, yeah, you should fill it up again. The way some rabbis understand this is, how do you really then wash with less than a revit? Like the first hand water is not there to wash your hands, it's just there to clean your hands in order to wash them. But they bring, for example, the opinion of the first Lubavitch Rebbe, who writes in his Shulchan Aruch that even though that first little bit of water was meant to get rid of the dirt, it's not just a preparation for hand washing, but it's already the first step of hand washing, and therefore it's part of the Revi'it that you need to use. Not all the rabbis agree, and because of that, we're saying that it's proper to be strict. On page 265 at the top, V'achar she'rechatz yadav, and once you wash your hands, v'sira lichluch ma'alehen, you took the dirt off your hands. Yesh omrim shetzarich lenagev yadav kodem sheitol yadav. Some say that you have to dry your hands after you clean your hands. V'yesh omrim she'en tzarich, and some say that you don't have to. V'chen halacha, and the halacha is like that opinion.
You don't have to?
But Masa, we didn't see Maran say that between not washing 1 and 2 you have to dry your hands.
No.
So the poskim that wanted, okay, but you can't force that as a halacha on us.
It's the same. If you, the first,
There's 1, 2,
First one.
3. So after the first one, you dry your hands and wash the second time, and then the third.
I have never seen anybody do that.
That's right. It seems like the custom is that nobody does it. And I haven't seen it. Maybe you have. I haven't seen it. And probably because most people who are washing 3 times on each hand are not doing it because of Maran's reason. They're not doing it to clean the hand once and then wash the hand and then wash the water off the hand. They're doing it 3 times or 3 times because that's the Kabbalistic custom that is spread. So because of, according to the Kabbalistic custom, you wouldn't pause between washing 1 and washing 2 to dry your hands. Yeah? See 265, and then we will finish this halacha for till next week. Then we'll get to the next city. Shifshuf hayadayim, rubbing your hands, zo bazo achar tefillah, one and the other after the tefillah. Okay. This is interesting halakha that you probably have not seen many people do. There's washing of the hands, there's rubbing of the hands, and there's drying of the hands. Once you've washed your hands properly, it's proper to rub your hands together one another. The Ben Ish Chai explains to do it this again like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But according to the simple understanding, it's like that. Okay.
That's the reason.
Well, the dat kama poskim. According to, no.
No? For the
I mean
Rebbe's
now,
time?
yeah. Udat kama poskim ena shifshuf chova min hadin el reshut. According to a number of the poskim, this rubbing is not a halacha; it's just optional thing. ויש אומרים שצריך מן הדין לשפשף ידיו אחר הנטילה זו בזו, and some say you actually have to. It's an obligation to rub your hands after you wash your hands. ואפילו שפך על ידיו רביעית מים בבת אחת או הטביל ידיו במקווה, even if you use a lot of water or you put it in the mikveh. What's the reason for washing the hands? It seems like the reason is to make sure the water reaches all the places in your hand.
That's again one of Moran's, some
Oh.
say. Which means
Yes,
it's not
and
binding.
Ramah, though, the Ramah brings it down at the end. Remember, Ramah does mention this. He says that you must do it.
The Ramah says?
Yeah. V'chen yesh lehog al pi da'at rabbeinu mekubalim, and this is the proper practice according to our rabbis, the mekubalim. The mekubalim have entirely different reasons why they rub your hands. That's why even with a lot of water, not a lot of water, they rub their hands. U'mikom makom en shifshuf ma'akev, but nonetheless the shifshuf, the rubbing is not, it doesn't, the word ma'akev, it doesn't hold it back, meaning it doesn't, it's a good word in English for ma'akev.
Makif, like, or makif.
No, not makif, me'akev. Let's say you send in an application for a job interview, and they say they need a driver's license and a secondary ID. And if they don't have the secondary ID, it'll be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
That means the secondary ID is me'akev. It'll hold back your entire application. Someone say, no, we prefer to have 2 IDs, but 1 is enough. In that situation, the second ID is not me'akev. If you send it with only 1 ID, you're okay. Makes sense? Now, in terms of halakha, you're always going to find this term me'akev. When say you have to rub your hands, is it me'akev or not? I mean, did you lose out on the washing of your hands or not if you didn't do it? And he's saying, the Maaseh, at the end of the day, some rabbis hold this is entirely not necessary. Some say that it's optional. Some say it's an obligation. And therefore, if you did it, good. If you didn't do it, it's okay. Happens to be the Rambam skips this halakha entirely. And Maran has a question on him why he skips it. Some understand the halakha of rubbing hands to be drying your hands. It's just another word for drying your hands.
He has the tendency to dry
One
your
is
hands.
optional and the other is,
You would say mandatory,
Necessary.
but mandatory is not. It's strong. It means that if you do it, it doesn't count for anything. Which I don't know. There's a word integral. It's integral to the hand washing, or it's just optional to the hand. I guess that would be
Mhm.
Yeah. Now look on page 267. It's the last sentences for now.
Is shif
Shifshuf literally means to rub.
is that from an Arabic origin?
No, it's Hebrew. It's onomatopoeia. Many words in Hebrew. Shifshuf, shifshuf, shifshuf. Or like in Hebrew, what do you call a bottle?
It's unusual.
Bakbuk, because the sound it makes is buk 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 buk.
That's
That's,
so cute.
there are many words in Hebrew. It's like, this is the mitzvah. This is what it is. It is a bakbuk. That's what it is. There are a number of words in Hebrew like that.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
cute.
So, page 267, in the middle of the page, there are 3 sentences. Underneath, there's 2 lines. Im shafach kol yad pachot milvit. But if you're one of those people who's stingy with water and you pour less than a ravit of water in each hand, פעמים שצריך לזהר מאוד שלא ישפשף ידיו וזו בזו, קודם שיחזור וישפוך להם מים. You have to be careful not to rub your hands together.
Oh, not to.
Why?
It's not enough to cover.
Because you're going to end up touching parts of your hand that are impure. וכן אם נתן ידיו רק עד סוף אצבעותיו, and if you're one of those people who held that you only have to wash your hands till the knuckle and not till the wrist, יזהר שלא ישפשף ידיו וזו בזו, don't rub your hands together. Why? Because you're now touching a part of the hand which is not clean. And you messed up the whole hand washing. So, meaning what's optional may end up becoming a liability. It's a classic case where if you try to be too strict in one area, you're going to lose out in another area. So the only time where you can safely rub your hands together is if you wash until your wrist with enough water. But if you don't wash until your wrist, or you don't wash with enough water, don't rub your hands together. Yes?
Yeah.
I'm going to see you next Monday night. But I'll page 267 on the rest of the hand washing.